Hello. We're going to start as we are taught with a prayer for calling Atias to be with us. And first chief that showed up this evening was our friend and our relative, everybody, Morgan. So I'm going to ask him, we've already asked him to do the invocation tonight. Please, if you're ready.
Almighty God, our gracious Heavenly Father, your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. No, Atias, come to you today, Great Spirit. Ask that you would look down upon us today, Father, for we're thankful to you for another day of life, that you've given us a beautiful day today. Thankful that my friends and relatives could gather over here at the Rome Chief building here, and I'm going to listen to the relatives as they express their thoughts and their wishes towards our tribal business council and these seats that are open here. Ask that you would look down upon us, that you would bless us and help us and guide us and lead us today, Father. We sure are in need of a blessing, sure in need of some guidance here within our business council. And then I've had some vacant seats here. I ask that you would fix things good for us here. Our future could be brighter here. You could place some people that's going to benefit us real good, that our business council can work really good together, be able to communicate, we can be able to take care of our peoples in the way that it should be. I ask that you would bless it like that for us here, and then all of our peoples that come forth and brought us together here. This day I pray that you would bless them too, that you would keep all harm and danger from us here, that you would let your Holy Spirit dwell within this building here, within this premises, and then on out throughout our Pawnee nation here, and each and all of our four bands and all our members and all our relatives. So I thank you today, Father, for this privilege of prayer here. Thank you for all the many blessings that you have for us up to this day and time. Again, I say thank you to you, Father, that we could come together in this manner here. Ask that you will bless us here, that you will help us and guide us along here. For I ask all this in your Son's name, Jesus. Amen.
With this chief showing up first, it was meant to be that he say our prayer for us, and we appreciate it very much. Usaba Karika, they call me Gwen Shonatona in English. I'm privileged right now to serve as the interim president of your college, our college, and we're going to keep working so that we all in our hearts and in our minds know it as our college. We are honored this evening to be asked to sponsor this forum. The college has done it in the past and used the League of Women Voters who came in from the Tulsa office. Stillwater office, and we were told, I think you guys know how to do it now. Please do it for us and with us. So that's why we're doing it this evening. We are following to the impossible format of the League of Women Voters. We wanted to ensure fairness, of course, and open dialogue. So we're looking at it from that perspective. We have students here who are in particular tribal government courses and who are receiving firsthand experience in tribal government public experience to the tribe this evening. One of the comments that our moderator made was, let's see, civics and sovereignty in action tonight. Yes.
We can't hear you back here.
Sorry.
The mic closer to your mouth.
Is it better?
You can hear you.
Okay, sorry, thank you. One of the purposes, of course, of the college is to educate the public, and that's what this is for this evening. So we appreciate you being here. I'm sure the candidates would appreciate you being here for this open educational experience that we enjoy with them. Let's see. I think that's about all that I have to say in terms of welcome. And I'd like to just provide a little bit more information about our moderator. Many of you know him. He is one of our faculty members. He was selected to be the moderator because of his broad experience in tribal government. He, of course, himself has been tribal president. What's the term called in Comanche? Chairman for the Comanche Nation. He has already been at 2 other institutions of higher education, so we are happy to have him. He is a very excellent asset to our college. He also has national tribal experience, and we put all those together. We thought we got the perfect moderator, so we really appreciate you being here. And I'm going to turn it over to Michael Burgess, who will continue.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that we always want to do, and I'm glad to see it, I witness it here, cordiality, being cordial and letting the other person speak before we ask questions. I'm telling you this because of my experience down home and a few other tribal councils I sat in. And even going to these forums like this, sometimes people forget that we're here to talk to these people and hear from them and not each other. So if you're going to have a question of one another while they're speaking, I just ask that you be cordial at the finish. So if you want to have a private conversation, because it's good acoustics in here. I think everybody can hear me. Gary, can you hear me? He's just looking at me.
Guess not.
Guess not.
Try again.
One more time, Gary. Okay. All right. We're going to give 2 minutes to every candidate to present their platform to you. However they're going to express themselves, I ask that you give them a good ear to listen to them. After that, these questions that are up here, we will take the questions out one at a time. We put them in here. It's a blind draw, basically. They're all face down. I haven't read them. I don't know what they're going to say. If I have to take a few minutes to interpret some of it, then I will. Again, no personal, in the English, no personal attacks on one of the candidates. Just a general question. No label you did or this and you did this. To the candidates here, because they do want to present themselves, and they are going to, some of them are going to represent you. You want them to represent you well at all times. So I'm going to turn it over here to our first candidate. We're just going down the line here because they're seating alphabetically. John. And our timekeepers here will raise the time card when you finish 10 seconds.
Well, good evening. I'm John Only, the Chief, and 2 minutes isn't a lot of time, but I do want to thank the college right now. I was part of the 2007, the first candidates forum that they had here, and we had it as a multi-purpose, so it was a really good thing that I thought we needed here at the nation. So I welcome it. I think it's a good opportunity for you guys to meet us, to hear some of our ideas, suggestions, concerns, and issues. And I hope you came prepared in reading some of the articles that were put out by these candidates here that we're sitting at this table here for. So with that being said, I want to also thank President Gover for being here, Richard Tilden, one of our council members. I think it's real important that they stay informed and see what's going on here in our nation. So this is a good opportunity to do that, to see what we have that we'd like to see brought to the table to the Pawnee Nation and for our people. So I'm trying to hurry up and get through this real quick. But if you're wondering where my daughter is, and it was kind of a difficult decision, is she's up there in Oklahoma City. She's receiving an award. She's been inducted to the Oklahoma Indian Honor Society. So, but I let her know that I was going to be here for her future, and then for my son's future also. And your folks as well. That's why I'm here, and I made it a priority, and I've always done that with the Pawnee Nation when I served previously. This has always been a priority, and I didn't have a second job. This was my job, and I have 30 seconds left. So, I'm real excited about the questions that are coming our way, and I'm going to stay in the format of hoping I don't get into that debating area. So just bear with me, so I'll answer the questions as as they come. So thank you.
I know Dr. Salceska, all of you. I'm a member of the Gitka Hockey Band, and my name is Amy Littleson. I think I know everybody. Hey. But I'm thankful to the college for putting this on, giving me a chance to express myself. I feel like I've just been saying this all the time, but I just recently graduated from Haskell Indian Nations University, where I received my bachelor's degree in American Indian Studies. And I felt like through this degree, it prepared me for running for council. All the papers I wrote, they asked us to write these in a manner in which we would want to present to our tribal council about things that concerned us on our reservations and things that we would like to see. And the actual definition that we were taught in American Indian Study is the study of self-determination and tribal nation rebuilding. And so if you actually think about just that definition, then that's the way that we were taught in our classes, is that we were to write our papers and everything and really focus on our own tribes and what we could do to help them in a manner in which we could help them. And so that's kind of like what I based it on, because I worked here for my tribe for 10 years. I've seen all the things that we have, our natural resources and everything like that. And so I kind of geared all my papers toward coming back and doing something for my people. That's how I feel. So that's the reason why I chose to run for council, was I feel like I have something to offer this time in my life, and I'm looking forward to serving you if you'll let me. Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Carol Metal. My grandparents were Sam and Effie Osborne, and my grandma, Effie, was a Little Eagle. Maddie Little Eagle was her mother, who walked from Nebraska as a young girl. On the other side, my grandparents are Ernest and Mary Leader Metal. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I was amazed that there's such a good turnout, and that gives me a lot of encouragement from the people. And I'm thankful for all of these candidates for stepping up and wanting to serve the people. And I think there's not a candidate up here that don't want to serve the people, because we love our tribe. Now let me just tell you briefly a little bit about myself. I attended St. Greg's University in Shawnee, and I also attended the University of Oklahoma. I recently retired from the Indian Health Service with 10 years of service there in the Office of Tribal Self-Governance, headquarters office. As a part of that job, I helped negotiate tribal government-to-government government-to-government compacts and funding agreements with tribes across the country. I was program analyst in charge of 10 of the 12 Indian Health Service area offices throughout the country. I wrote the first, I lived tribal self-governance. I lived the Public Law 93-638 Indian Self-Determination Assistance Act. I have lived it. I wrote the first higher education program for the Pawnees. I wrote the first law enforcement program for the Pawnees. I helped with Levi Horse Chief, and I sat up here at the BIA and helped get the Constitution changed over, Mr. Canoodle, so that we could change from a security type of department and have the authority to get into a full-blown police department. That's all I'm going to say. Is that it? Am I done? Oh, the 2-minute warning. Anyway, so it's hard to stand up here and talk about. Am I done?
Sorry, too many introductions. Sorry.
Am I done? Got me off.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Linda Justice, and I'm of the Chapman family, the Eves, and the Stone Road family. And I've served on the council, for the last 4 years, and it was a real eye-opener. When I wanted to serve, I'm going to let you new people know that when you want to get on the council, it can be very rewarding, to see things happen, and it's a tough job. You can't please everybody, but I hope that we've started making good progress during this last 4 years. There's been several things that have come up during the last 4 years that were not very good, but we tried to address them, and I feel like we're on the road, to having a really good business, Pawnee Nation business over there. And just a little bit about myself. I think everybody knows who I am. I'm married to Ronnie. We work with the rodeo. I have two boys, four grandchildren, 1 great-grandson. I've lived in Pawnee all of my life. I work for the housing. I ran a daycare for 6 years. We've been in the cattle business for 25 years. And I really enjoy working, not at the tribe, but as working with our finance director and the ones at the tribe in the treasurer's position. I enjoy working with numbers. I think I will be a good treasurer if I'm selected, or elected, I guess I should say. And just thank you all for coming. It shows that, people really are interested. And I hope that, each one of us, whoever is selected, I know each one of us will do a good job, whichever one we get. Thank you.
Noah, welcome this evening, and I'd like to also thank the Pawnee Nation College for having this candidates forum and giving us the opportunity to get our views and our platforms out here, and to keep everyone aware of what's going on with the Pawnee Nation and how our views are, because we can't reach everybody, and I know that a lot of people were wanting this to be recorded, and like you said, we have the resources to do it. It's just a matter of getting out there and getting it done. And that's how I feel that we need to be with our tribal council and our business council, is that we need to pull these resources together that we have, and the ones that we don't have, we need to find out how to get them resources together. My name is Misty Nuttall, and I'm from the same family as Carol, so that took care of half of my introduction. I'm also from the Horse Chief and Moore families. I'm Pawnee and Oto. I have 3 children, Drew, Jade, and my little niece Audie that I've raised, and I also have 4 stepchildren. So I'm pretty busy, and I'm pretty sure I've learned to multitask, and living my separate professional and personal lives, that's kind of helped me fulfill a lot of obligations in my life. And with the tribal counseling running for the treasurer position, there's a lot of operating policies and procedures that need to be in place, and I've seen, the ins and outs of the tribe. I've worked for the federal government. I worked for private industry and healthcare. And I just believe that the treasurer position is where I would make the strongest impact. I'm a go-getter. I like to be independent. I would like for our tribe to be self-sufficient and look into different enterprises for to grow the economics of our tribe, not only for the tribe itself, but also for the individuals. And I would like to thank you all for coming out again this evening. And it's Kim.
Noah, I would start off my talk this evening by saying that every good thing comes from above. That includes our Pawnee tribe, and that includes every family that is in the tribe. And my name is Bruce Pratt, and I am of the Pratt family and the Good Fox family, and I am running for the office of Vice President of the tribe. Been back here for about 11 months. My family and I, we've been gone for about 10 years, and we have recently moved back, and it's just great to be back in Pawnee, Oklahoma, and be back among our tribal people again. I have never went into the political realm, and so this is new for me. I believe I can do the job. I believe that I can do it well, and I'm ready to do that. Ready to serve the people. Ready to do whatever I can to help the furtherance of our tribal government, our tribal ways, and do all that I can. I have been a pastor now for over 20 years, been in a leadership position in different places, and I think that will help me to be able to navigate the different things and the different maybe areas of concern that may come to the tribal council, and I think I could do that. And in closing, I would say this. Some of you have asked about my father, and my father had back surgery today, and it went really well. And so I left him at the hospital in Tulsa, and he's doing really well. And I'm thankful for your prayers, and I'll covet your prayers in this position if I am able to get it. Thank you. I got it down now.
Noah Agidaro, Tapasa Sawa Kiri Today Asad, Kikahaki Agidaro. My name is Adrian Spider, Horse Chief. I just want to thank the college for having this opportunity for us to all gather here and speak, and to let the people know how we feel and our views and our thoughts of how we can make this tribe better. And I also want to thank Matiwa Chittiks, Edisal Kittibutsky, for that prayer that he said. And myself, most of you people know me. I've been around here in the community for a long time. Some of you people around here have seen me grow up, and I've grown up with some of you people. And myself, you know, I've been around here for a long time, and I see all these other tribes around here that's prospering. And myself, you know, I think that we're way behind. But not that it's a bad thing. We could look and see what other tribes have done, and we can go after the same things and can do things better. I think that it's time that younger people get involved. I've always encouraged younger people to pay attention to what's going on in our tribe, amongst our people, regardless of if it's culture, politics, because the things that we decide and the past administrations, what they have decided, affects not only us, but our children and our children that are not yet here. So we want to try to do the best that we can to try to make good decisions that will not benefit only us here, but those that are coming. And myself, you hear all of the different ones that express almost the same things, you know, because I think that's what it is. People, it's time for some change, and that's what they want. So myself, I'm thankful to be here, and I'm looking forward to these questions that's going to be presented, and hopefully I'll have the words that will be pleasing to you guys. Thank you.
I am Leanna Chapman-Teeter. I'm new to this business, so I'm just going to tell you about myself. I'm the youngest of 4 children of the late Basil Chapman and Elma Cheetah Keys Chapman. My husband Richard, also an educator, and I live on my grandmother's May Write-Ins family allotment in Payne County near Yale. We've lived there for 22 years. Throughout our marriage of 42 years, we were blessed with 3 talented children, 2 with families of their own and 1 in college. In addition, we had 3 wonderful grandchildren. I am a graduate of Pawnee High School. My higher education includes a Bachelor of Arts degree and a Master of Education degree, both from Northeastern State University in Tahlequah. I pursued additional graduate hours in early childhood education from Oklahoma State University. My credentials include teaching certification by the Oklahoma State Department of Education as a highly qualified teacher of early childhood education, along with teaching learning disabilities, mental retardation, multi-handicap, music, social studies, as well as all elementary grade levels. I've been a school teacher in various public schools for the past 28 years. I was the supervisory instructor at the Child Development Lab, where I also taught undergraduate early childhood education coursework at OSU in the College of Human Environmental Sciences. In 2007, I was employed in the Pawnee Nation's Potty Cootie program, first as preschool curriculum specialist, eventually moving to program director. More recently, I was the BIA education specialist for the Iowa Tribe in Perkins, covering the operations of higher education scholarship program, adult vocational training, adult education, and direct employment assistance. Throughout my professional years, I have interpersonal skills of cooperation, leadership, and that's it. I have
Well, if you can't hear me, I'll use the microphone. Good evening. My name is Jimmy Whiteshirt. I was born and raised here in Pawnee. My parents were John and Maxine Whiteshirt. My grandparents were Jim and Minnie Peters. I was raised a Christian and baptized at an early age. I was also raised to respect our elders and to follow tribal customs. And I have lived by the teachings of both. I'm a college graduate, a Vietnam-era veteran, an active member of the Pawnee Veterans Organization, and a highly decorated retired police officer after serving 32 years on the Tulsa Police Department. I'm not here to make any promises. I'm here to say I will be a proactive council member with issues concerning health care, law enforcement, economic development, education, language, and culture. My background is in law enforcement. I will be scrutinizing the process by which contractors and other persons are selected to conduct business with the Pawnee Nation. And I will look for accountability of all monies of the Pawnee Nation. I will not sweep any wrongdoing under the rug when it's brought to my attention, and I will work with law enforcement in actively pursuing investigations into allegations of wrongdoing in an effort to seek the truth and to bring to justice those involved. I will take a proactive approach in favor of economic development enterprises, resulting in employment for our tribal people in an effort to keep tribal members from moving out of the Pawnee jurisdiction, and to advocate training for qualified tribal members to hold management positions within our tribe. It is my goal to work towards a shared common vision with the tribal council and the people. With this common vision, we can all move toward building a stronger community and providing a better quality of life for the people of the Pawnee Nation. I have.
All right, thank you one and all. Now, our agenda here, we're going to move into the questions. One question, the plan is one question to each of you. I will ask the question and pass the microphone off if you need me to remind you of it, because I know somebody gets to talk and you'll think of something else. The first question tonight, you have 1 minute to respond, remember. And fellas, hold that sign up, wave it a little bit, make sure they make eye contact with that sign. Being future council members, they have to be multitasking. First question, have you ever owned or run a business? If so, please explain.
I have not owned or run a business. What I have done is take a grassroots organization all the way through the funding source from the LA County Department of Health and Human Services and brought it to a full nonprofit status. It's American Indian Changing Spirits. It's a residential treatment center for 50 Native American Indian men. It's in Long Beach, California, and it's still up and operating. And I serve as a capacity for president, as a grassroots organization, and as the nonprofit president for that organization. So my background there is all about the funding source through that and making sure that it's managed and overseen by a board with my leadership.
I have to say yes to this. Right now I'm in business. I make meat pies and sell them. Most of you are my customers. So keep buying them. But also along with that, I do a lot of beadwork and everything. And I consider myself self-employed because it takes care of my needs for me and my son. So, and I know, what it takes. I know you guys are thinking on a bigger level, but, that's what I consider a business right now. And that's what I do, and that's how I make my living right now. So I must do it good enough to survive, so that's what I do. So that's my answer.
Are you timing me now? Be sure and let me know when it's time. No, my mom and I had a business in Stillwater years and years and years ago, in the 70s, I guess. It was Little Eagle, and we sold beadwork, jewelry, and that sort of thing. It was a fun time because I got to be my mom. And we went out and sold food across the state and across the country. And man, I'll tell you what, we would drive that Indian car on a wing and a prayer. And Mom would pray and we'd come back, and we always made it because we trusted in God. I'm currently the president of Leader LLC, which is a tribal governance consulting firm. I'm the president. My daughter, Angela Thompson, is the CEO. We currently have contracts with 3 tribal governments. We only started our business about a year ago. We've already got 3 major contracts. And I think when people put their trust in you like that to go out and negotiate their contracts and their compacts, it says something about your capabilities. Those are the capabilities that I want to bring to our tribe. Our tribe needs to be moving ahead in that direction. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. My husband and I have ran a successful cattle business for 25 years plus. We run a cow and calf operation, which I'm in hopes that one day we may be able to do this here at the tribe because we have land, we have water, and I'm hoping that we might be able to do that. I also ran a home daycare for 6 years, and I took care of babies. Had 8 of them. My sister Daisy helped me, and it was very enjoyable to me. It helped support, our family, the income that we got off of it. The cattle business has been very good. It's been very good to us, and I think that there's other businesses that we plan to endeavor, but we haven't stepped into them yet.
And thinking about retrospective here, when I first went back to school, decided to go back to school to get my bachelor's degree, I lived in Maryland then, and I had a lot of free time, so it kind of was killing 2 birds with 1 stone, but I ventured into the market of selling Avon. And I was my own Avon sales representative, and that's kind of along the lines when it was new to place internet orders. So I was the sales representative, had my own web page, and completed sales orders, had to track my own inventory and submit my product sales and reports to my area representative. And that's the business that I ran, and that's how I got my income to support myself through attending college, and receiving that bachelor's degree. But it also helped in opening my eyes to running your own business and being accountable, and especially when you're in business for yourself, being accountable to yourself and keeping in line with those ethics and values. Thank you.
Well, I've done a few things in my past. I've been a camp director. I helped run Camp Lita for about 10 years, ran all the operations of the camp. When I started there, it had no budget, had no money. And when we ended there, Vicki and I, it did have a budget and it was running on its own. I have been a pastor for the last 20 years, which is like running a business and doing the operations of the church. I have also managed a McDonald's store out there at the Turnpike. I did that for about 4 or 5 years, and I've also been an insurance agent and had my own agency that I got from my dad. So I've done a few things. All right, thank you.
Well, when I was younger, as you all know, my grandfather Levi, he was a painter, and when I was a teenager, he had some odd jobs that he was doing around Yale, and then so I got to help him out a lot of that with painting. So we paint houses, and as his health, started to get a little bit worse, I started picking up to some of those jobs, and so I really enjoyed painting. But my grandfather didn't want me to stay in that kind of business, but I enjoyed doing painting. But as you guys know too, I used to have a t-shirt business. A lot of times in the powwows, I'd sell shirts, even at some of the functions here. And some of the show shirts I've sold 10 years ago, I still see around here today. Something for me, that was something that I enjoyed, to try to bring pride, to our people. All had Pawnee themes and stuff. So that was something that I would like to see us have, is a t-shirt business. So that's all.
Okay, have I owned or run a business? I was an independent distributor for Dorling Kindersley books. I met with Indian educators in the public schools around Oklahoma, and I had a very successful business for 3 years until the company sold out. And the new company chose not to distribute books that way anymore. I do remember before I could sell in the Cherokee Nation area, I had to be screened by the Tarot through the Cherokee Nation, and it was a 20-page application with 2 interviews, and I was accepted as a vendor for them. And that's something I think that we need to look at to be assured of the type of business people we have working for our tribe.
Years ago, back in the day, during a powwow, Billy Nuttall and I had a Kool-Aid stand. We did well. No, my family and I, in this building here, my family and I formed a restaurant business. We served Native American Indian foods, and we had a good showing at it, and some of you might have been there at the time. And but as a retired individual myself, I do plan to start my own business, and it's going to be with emergency equipment and different types of ammunition sold to the different gun clubs, police agencies, tribal agencies, etc. Thank you.
If you're not expecting an emergency phone call, would you turn your cell phones off? That's what we're getting the feedback on. If your companion or kids are wanting money, and they take it home. Are they ordering meat pies, man? Next Friday we'll fix it. This question, somebody wrote a good question. I'm going to paraphrase it here, shorten it up a little bit. The question is this. Again, you might want to write this down, but I'll repeat it if you need me to. What is the current organizational culture of the Pawnee Nation? And do you feel it is acceptable to move forward, making progress? I believe they're asking you that. Do you think the tribe is in a position to expand, be progressive? Because they repeated it here a little bit. I'll read it again. What is the current organizational culture of the Pawnee Nation, and do you feel it is acceptable for the promotion, forward progression? So you see how paraphrase it means progress we need to make. And we started with John last time, so we'll start with Famie here this time around.
I'm having a hard time.
What is the current organizational culture of the Pawnee Nation? Do you feel it is acceptable for promoting progress?
Well, the current organizational culture of the Pawnee Nation, I'm assuming this is talking about traditional ways that we have, organizations. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm trying to understand, and I try to participate in all of our cultural doings that are going on here in the tribe, and I'm kind of thinking there's a little bit more to the question than what I'm reading. So I don't know if we're talking about the organization of our chiefs dealing with our tribal council, you know, and I'm kind of thinking that's more along the lines of what this question is asking, and I really don't.
Let me give you. I don't know who wrote the question, but my interpretation is this. Do you think the tribal government is in a position that the current position, is it ready to move forward, or does it need some organizational restructuring and then to make progress? What are the things the tribal government has to do if you believe it needs to make changes internally, and then to make progress? Explain what the progress you would like to see and the organizational changes that you think the tribe needs. Is that better?
Yes.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, start over. Is that a little better for you?
Yeah, I understood what he's talking there. I think that there's a lot of changes that need to be made. I'd really like to see our chief's power reinstated, which is going to be a big decision with the tribe, because I feel like the tribal council needs to answer to somebody beside the people, and I know that we don't have no $10,000 in our pocket just to oppose something that is held favorable that a lot of the people aren't for. And so I think there's a lot of things that can be done, and that yes, we are in need of some reorganization. We really need to go forward, you know, because I just feel like that's something that's real important. That way I feel like the people will have more of a voice in the decisions that the council makes.
I'm going to take our lead and sit. What is the current organizational culture of the Pawnee Nation, and is it and how can it move us forward? I'm on the council, and I am not satisfied with the current organizational structure of the Pawnee tribe. I have sat in businesses at the local level, at the state level, and at the national level. I've operated my own business. We need to be in a position where our culture is above standard and above reproach, and that everybody in the organization knows what the policies are and knows what's expected of them and how to follow them, so that everybody's on the same page, reading from the same book, and everybody is treated fairly. I think there's a lot of improvement that can occur, and I have some definite ideas on how to approach that and how to move it forward in a good way. Thank you.
I believe that, you know, changes, you're going to have changes all the time. There's all kinds of things that happen, you know, with the tribal council, that things arise, and it's inevitable that change needs to come. And also, just like with the structure, yes, there are some things in our policies that, you know, not everybody knows about the policies, and we need communication. Keep the lines of communication open so that everybody can be involved and know what's going on. And this is a hard question. I'm going to pass it on to you, Misty.
Okay, my understanding is, do you feel it is acceptable for the promotion of progress sitting where we're at the current level of service right now? And I feel that that's part of the reason why I ran, is because no, I do not feel that it is acceptable, and it's not, you know, placing the blame on whose fault it is. but we need to find out what the problems are and what the issues are. And part of it that I see is by not having a standard order of operations in place and enforcing those regulations that are already in place. And as far as being on the council and having a business council, they need to be the example and lead by example. And advocating for change, like Linda's saying, change is inevitable and change needs to happen all the time. It's reoccurring and it should be reoccurring because that's the only way we can assess and evaluate our programs. If it's broke, then we got to fix it. If it's not broke, try to find smoother transitions.
This document here is how the tribe operates. This is our Constitution of the Pawnee Nation of Oklahoma. And so what we have to do is we have to do everything that we can to the best of our abilities according to our own legal document, Can we do better? Yes. Do we need to do better? Yes. And I think that together as a tribal council, working together, communication and all of those things, and striving to have the same goals and do what's best for the people, that we can get there. We can get there. Whatever that may be. If there's things that need to be changed, the people have to voice that, and we have to maybe even vote on that to change our Constitution. But this is what we go by, and so we'll just continue to do that. Thank you.
Myself, I think a lot of these candidates so far have made some pretty good comments, and I don't think we're doing the things necessary to prosper. We do need to have change. Just like we talked about the Constitution, there is changes that need to be made. This world's spinning around. It's not waiting on us. The tribes are progressing, and they're not waiting on us either. They don't need to. But us as Pawnee people, we need to be proud of who we are. We need to go out after these things. We need to be prosperous. And whatever that takes for us to do, we need to do it. We need to look at the things that's in place right now, see if we can do things to make things better, and where we have these powers that we can go out after and get these things to prosper, to better things for ourselves. And and we can do that. One of the things that we've got to do is we've got to get along as a council. We've got to agree on things and not have no animosity towards one another or who brought what to the table and things like that.
I think it's the tribe in position to further the progress of the Pawnee Nation. We need strong financial management positions. We need to understand the intricacies of the good business planning, production, and refinement. And some of the ways might be to diversify beyond gaming, beginning with an economic needs assessment to determine the amount of income that comes into the various areas of our tribal lands and where it goes, so that we can see what other types of businesses the tribe could be able to support. We could also seek investors willing to work with our tribe, providing training and economic self-sufficiency, and we also could explore and elaborate the agricultural productions.
I'm going to read a section from the Constitution. The treasurer shall be responsible for the following duties: receive funds from all sources for which the Pawnee Business Council is held accountable, and maintain financial records which shall reflect actual receipts and disbursements of all funds, and which shall reflect the financial position of the Pawnee Nation of Oklahoma. That's almost an impossibility for one person. I truly believe that needs to be changed. When I was a police officer, we were all held accountable for our honesty, integrity, our work ethics, our ethics. And that's what we need. That's what we need right there. It's my belief that's what we need. I thank you.
Earlier, I pulled out a question that had been answered. Everybody gave an opening statement.
John.
and talked about their experience and their position, so that's what I put that question to the side. Go ahead, John.
Okay, yes, we do need some needed changes, and like anything else, you can have the best policy, the best working documents, but if they're not followed, then what good are they, And so, in starting with that, with our policies and things like that govern some of our departments, I'm kind of lost because we have some of those in place right now, and you see how they're working. We have a lot of questions, we have a lot of issues, we have a lot of concerns, and so, there'll be some changes, and you're looking at some of the people here that will be voted in, and there's going to be some changes, I hope. That's what I'm looking forward to, and that's why I'm here. So, the change for the Pawnee Nation is hopefully coming, and, we'll have a fully seated council. That's what's missing also. We need a fully seated council. It's been missing for over 6 months, and thank you.
All right. Thank you. Next question. How do you propose to unify our tribal membership?
Thank you. I believe that anything that's going to be successful has to have the input of the end user of that product, and that is our tribal people. There's no sense in the tribal council trying to move ahead without input from the council. And one way of doing that is to do what we did, the tribal issues management system 2 years ago when I first got on. As a result of that, there were several priorities that were established by the tribe. And that has given us some direction in terms of how, when our settlement money came up, in terms of how that should be spent. So I think in order to unify the council and unify the people, you've got to meet with the people. You've got to get them involved. You've got to get the elders and the youth together. We've got to rely on our traditions, our culture, what we believe in. We've got to remember the respect that those of us who grew up with those ways know that. We've got to teach that to our kids. We've got to become Pawnees. We are Pawnees. What does that mean to us? It means a strong, unique tribe.
And I agree with Carol. It seems like, the quarterly meetings that we have, a long time ago, I guess the quarterly meetings were set up, and I've heard people say that they would come from Albuquerque, drive all the way to get here for the quarterly meeting, and they were interested in what was going on at the tribe. And it seems like now, we have our meetings, and there's nobody that shows up. And that's what we need. We need more people, to come and voice their opinions, and, let us all work together. We're all like one big family, and just like Adrian said, we should get along and voice our opinions of what we like and what we don't like, and let us try to help.
I think the tribe also needs to update their strategic plan. And through the strategic plan, that incorporates the input of all the tribal members. And I think a lot of the concern that we hear is not being able to hear from people that live outside of our home boundaries or our home jurisdiction. And ways to do that would be to open the communication lines, utilize technology. We have a Facebook page. Why don't we utilize that? We have different ways to stream, stream broadcasts or whatever, and there's ways that we can utilize those resources. And, as I had mentioned before, we have educated people, and we have people that are willing, if they don't have the knowledge, to go out and learn to do those things. So pulling those resources together and getting everybody on the same page and keeping them informed of what's actually happening or what our intent is the way to keep them interested in what's going on with the nation.
In listening to this question, maybe you feel like you don't have a voice. Maybe that's the underlying problem. But everyone has a voice. Everyone has a voice, and And everyone's input is important. Everyone's input is important. And we as a council, we just need to maybe listen better and communicate better and get more and better information out to the people, and so that we can all understand the issues that are before the council, before the people, and respect one another, be good to each other, and I think that's the ways that have been given to us, and continue those ways. I think that'll make a better council. Thank you.
I think one of the biggest keys here is communication. I've said this times before, is that people need to know what's going on. There's a lot of times there's things that's set up on the table, council's table, that we don't know what it's about until everything's all said and done. And the biggest thing is that you're not going to make everybody happy. But the fact is that the people know what's going on. I think people will be better attuned to what the council's deciding. You've got to have input. The people, everybody is included, has to have input of what's going on. And I think that I've said this before. You put better, like Misty was talking about. We have a lot of streaming. We have Facebook pages, media, newspapers, exotics. Put better information out. If it's surveys, if it's having meetings where you have people come in, community meetings where people come in and offer their input. You have some elders that don't get out, but they have a lot of input that they have to say.
I believe a model of success to unify our tribal membership begins at home. Parents need to encourage their children to continue their education. Education is something that cannot be taken away, and in order to have successful graduates, we need to begin with community involvement and tribal support to inform and educate our family members. Tribal resources can provide ways to support and teach responsibility in areas of self-discipline, financial management, or increased college attendance while at our Pawnee Nation College. Education will always be a vital instrument for the success of the future of our Pawnee tribal members.
I'm going to have to go back to that, that shared common vision. We need to create economic enterprises. By creating those jobs, we need to train those people for management positions. I hear a lot of talk about miscommunication, and I think we're all on the same page as the communication. It's not enough to say, well, if they want to know something, they need to come to the council meetings. Not everybody, like Brother here said, not everybody can go. And that's always been a very big problem within the police department, communication. Until we updated our computer systems, now everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows what the mayor's doing. Everybody knows what the janitors are doing. The whole 9 yards. We need more communication. It needs to be out there. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's another question coming. The question is, will the Pawnee Business Council do more for our...
Mike, one more.
Oh, John.
Okay, let's go back to the other question. How do I propose to unite our people, our tribal people? In my previous term, what I did was, I put myself out there. I live here in this community. I always kept a pen and paper on my door, so when people came by, they could leave their phone number, which they did, and I would call them back, okay? Or they had my email, or they have my phone number that I've had for the last 8 years. I've lived in the same spot for 11 years, and so I'm very reachable. You see me at the store, you see me all over here. So, in order to unite our people, myself, I'm in the community. I'm here with you guys, I'm here with my relatives here, and I think that's a big part of this whole process in uniting our people is to be amongst our people. I'm here on a daily basis, so, I just continue with that commitment if I'm given that opportunity to serve as Vice President.
This is a question that I really thought about a lot because I feel like we're not real close as a tribe. There's too much griping going on as far as I'm concerned, and I think it's communication. I'd like to see live webcam at all the council meetings, and I'd really like the council to be moved out of that little bitty room where it's all cramped and closed in and it's hot, and, so somewhere open space, maybe more inviting for people that would want to come in, and sit and listen. I learned a lot from the council meetings, and just find out what's going on in the tribe. But then there's people that live out of state and everything, they don't know what's going on. If you had a live webcam at all the council meetings, at least they could see, it would cut out the rumors, and then to that effect, then I also think that as a council, we should feed our people. That's a way to bring people together and make it a happy occasion where everybody would have the opportunity to get along and enjoy each other's company. And that we as the council members of the tribe, that we should do something for all of our people, not just our elders or our children, or our little children.
We start with next question.
Next question.
I'm going to paraphrase this question here again. It's addressing those of you who would be on the council. The question started out, what would you do if you're on the council to do more for our Pawnee elders instead of making sure just asking us to apply and be eligible for assistance? I believe they're trying to ask you that, what would you do to assist our elders more than telling us to be go to the office and fill out an application and make sure you're eligible for services? As a council member, what would you do to help the elders?
Well, I think probably get more involved in the elders program that they have over there. I know that over the last 4 years, I have visited the elders program and seen how they, conduct their little business that they have over there and their meals. And unfortunately, I couldn't go all the time. But I think becoming more active in that program, because I am an elder, and listen to their needs and their the wants and the things that they would like to do. It's just being involved and supporting them and in all their issues that they have, and being there for them when they need something.
This is something that I thought about also as in my decision to run for a council member, and my grandmother comes to mind, and having all this money and stuff that's donated for the elders, it doesn't reach all of the elders. It doesn't reach the ones that are homebound, and getting involved in the elders program is one area. Also, I would like to enhance the services of the caregiver program. And that's the program that goes out and reaches the elders who are homebound, checks on them, make sure their little simple needs are met, that they have groceries, if they have little errands that need to be ran, those types of things, and providing more services besides just going and checking on them and making sure they got one meal a day, because that's not enough for them, and that's not enough that their needs are met also. Checking to make sure that they get to their doctor's appointments on time, working with other programs within the tribal nation and becoming a comprehensive program.
Our Pawnee elders are very important. They're the heads of all of our families, and it goes beyond just those who go to the elderly meals and those who are part of that. We all have so many other elders that are, in our homes and things, and it's important that we listen to them. I think that's the main thing, is that we listen to them. I think it's very important for our elected officials to go to our events, all the events that we have, and be seen, be there, and be available not only to all of you, but to all of our elders. And I'm getting pretty close to elder age myself, so all those things are important. Thank you.
Myself, I could probably talk longer than a minute on this issue. Myself, I work for the Pawnee Nation CHR program, and I work with a lot of the elders. And some of them come in, and need assistance, and the money's just not there. They could have one bill, and it'd be taken care of, and that's it. Not only that, financial assistance, but just like Misty was talking about, we need to do more, going into the elders' homes. You have some that are homebound, they can't get out. You can check on them, the medications, different things like that. And not only that is that we have a person that wanted their grass cut. I don't see why the tribe don't have get some money, get some of these young boys, give them a job in the summertime and go and cut these people's grass. There's just certain things like that I see, wintertime, and you go check on them, get them some blankets or something, make sure their heaters are working, their fireplaces, if they need wood, get wood fixed up for them, There's all kinds of aspects that we need to look into as far as taking care of our elders.
Through a revenue allocation plan, after we identify the funds to supplement our tribal operations and existing service programs based on the current revenues, I would be willing to provide per cap for those 62 years and older that are the ones on fixed income and our disabled veterans.
As a council member, what I'd like to do is make a list of the elders and then get more of the casino money towards their needs. We have different, we need to take care of the elders. We really do. I mean, they worked all their lives and now they're on limited income. Some just barely getting by. So if we could take a portion of those casino revenues, maybe we can, give them $100 for $100 a month for their electricity or groceries or whatever. Not every quarter, but I think we can do that. Is to allocate a little more casino money towards their comfort and well-being. Thank you.
Our elders, anything that came to the table while I served, I was in support of. Now, it wasn't always easy to do that because the monies weren't always readily available and the programs themselves were stretched pretty thin. So I like the concept of an allocation plan for that process through our gaming. And, we had some programs for yard work for elders. We had some programs we had an outreach program through Title VI that would go out and check on our elders, make sure their light bulbs are all in, their house is lit so that they can see, and different things like this. So I'm kind of wondering, what happened? So maybe those are still available, but during that proposal review process for budgets, when everybody submits their budgets, maybe there needs to be more monies allocated into those areas for our elders. So that's another avenue there too also. And I was raised by my grandmother Charlotte, and we lived right down the road. So I'm very passionate for the elders. So thank you.
It just so happens I wrote a paper called Building Businesses on Tribal Reservations. And one of the businesses that I wanted to put in my business plan was to develop a program that is an assistance program for tribal elders. It's kind of like along the lines of what Misty was talking about. It's a caregiver program. And I know there are some tribes, they even pay their family members who take care of their parents. Like they can't work because they have to take care of their parents. But it was a program along the line, and I did a lot of research, and I looked up different, I know a lot of different places on the internet where you can get money for these kind of programs. So we need to get with our tribal planner, whoever writes our grants and proposals, and get these things, going for our elders, that we can have a program like this where they can be helped with everything that was mentioned here.
Thank you. I think one of the major things, and I'll go back to what I said earlier, is to be able to talk to the elders, meet with them, find out from them what their needs are. And one great void that I seen when I came back to Pawnee was that we don't have transportation here. We can't just call a taxi cab if we have to go to the store. And what about our elders that are shut in like that? It's even worse. And so I know that there's money out there for transportation programs. I know there is. So I'd like to see a transportation program. I'd like to meet with the elders and see what they define as their needs. And it has to come from the people. We can sit here and I can think about things that I think the elders need, but we need to ask them and then try to build our programs back around what they say that their needs are. And I think that I like the idea of a revenue allocation plan, and I think that that's important, because then we know where our money's going and we can account. We need to be accountable for it. Thank you.
All right, Ms. D, you get to start us off here. The question is very somewhat broad, but short this time. Define consensus building and its importance in governance.
Consensus building to me is building your tribal infrastructure together and as cohesive as possible. And in tribal governance, what we need to do is, like everybody's saying, keep the lines of communication open, find ways that are going to include everybody's needs, or, the majority of the needs. Like we're saying, not everybody's going to be pleased, not everybody's going to get their, wants and needs fulfilled, but we have to do that in order to elevate our people, elevate our status as a tribe. And that's the only way that I see that happening, is if we all work together and keep the lines of communication open, find out what the needs are, find out the resources that we have available, and then pull together, united, like they're saying, consensus, move forward together. And that's the way that we're going to get to any type of progression within our nation.
Well, the needs of the people are important, and the council takes those needs and implements policy, and the policy goes down to the executive director, and the executive director takes that and goes down to the directors of the programs, and those directors go down to the employees. And so it's all a working organization, and if we have good communication, and if we are all on the same page and we all understand where we're trying to get and how we're going to get there, then it should work. It ought to work. And so that's the model anyway. And our responsibility, my responsibility, would be to see that it happens that way. To see that it happens that way. And if it happens that way, it'd be great. Amen.
I think going along the lines of what both these two have said is that we have to hear the input from what the people have to say, and from that, like what he was saying, is that we have to pass that on to our employees. And one of the biggest things is that I believe is that the tribe needs to take care of our employees. The employees is what makes this tribe operate. We've got to help the employees. We need to look about getting better pay, be competitive with all the surrounding areas. And when you do stuff like that, that makes services and all of these programs function better. Not only our employees are happy, but also our people as well. And I think that's one of the things is that, to me, is like a consensus, is we all need to try to be on the same page. And when we do that, I think everybody involved benefits from that.
This is a broad question.
define consensus building and its importance in governance. I believe that the Tribal Development Corporation, the Business Council, and the leadership of the Gaming Commission and all the other division directors should have open communication. I believe that the people hired to do these management jobs based on their qualifications should be allowed to do the jobs for which they were hired with no political interference. I believe we should have safeguards against the political interference in that process, which would ensure long-term viability for our casinos and for the tribe. We need to allow the PBC to operate as the business arm of the Pawnee Nation, to allow the board and management to exercise the authority and trust that the tribe has invested in them, as was established by the original documents, and I think that would be keep us together.
Everything everybody else said is like the building blocks towards the future. We need that commitment. We need that shared vision. Stay on top of what we're going to be doing in the future with our children, our grandchildren. These programs that we have, we need to strengthen them. Every program is important in this tribe. And I think that the directors should be confident and qualified enough to run their divisions. I just believe that, like I said, the building blocks is our commitment to the future. Thank you.
Okay, consensus building and its importance to governance. I believe it comes from good leadership, strong leadership, and if you have that at the top, and you pass it down to, like I heard earlier, down to our division directors and then our directors, and be consistent at the policy and making sure that it's followed. Or if not, change it accordingly, however it needs to be changed. But however, if we have governing documents to help our programs, then we really need to stick to them, And with that, it all comes from leadership, and I've seen a lot of lack of leadership that, and we can build on that, that's the main thing, is that we can build on that, and that's why we're here. And so, that's where I see it right now. Thank you.
I think that this question kind of goes along with unifying tribal membership, because consensus building is, to me, the way I understand it, is having an understanding with one another, and it's very important. And if we can attain this within our tribal council, where we get along, we have a good understanding with one another, where we're coming from, then that is going to radiate out to our people, because we're going to treat them that way too. When we could all be in good consensus, having a good understanding with one another. And so it's very important for us to get along as tribal people and as a tribal council to make good decisions for our people. So that's what I think about it.
Define consensus building and its importance in governance. Consensus building is coming together around an idea and supporting that idea. Consensus doesn't mean that you have the full 100% of every person in that group, but that you're able to come together and gather around a certain idea and move that forward. How do you do that? You've got, again, to have input from the people. And we've got to have a vision. We've got to have a vision for our people. The Bible says, a people without a vision shall perish. And that's powerful. But the vision has to come from the people. It doesn't come from on top. It comes from the people. We find out what our major goals, what our vision is, and then we put it out there. There should be a big vision right out there on that wall, so that when we as Pawnee people come in here, we all know what our vision is.
And then we identify goals and objectives on how we're going to do that vision, and we report out those progress or setbacks each quarter at the quarterly meetings. Thank you.
Okay. I think that one thing that I've seen, over the last 4 years is there's a lot of people that doesn't think that, their opinions matter. They voice their complaints or they voice their concerns and they don't feel like they're heard. And I feel like that good communication with them, to hear them out. Sometimes you just need to let people talk, to just vent, either the frustrations that they have or the ideas that they have that they would like to, that they would like to see the tribe's vision that they have to go forward. I think the most important thing is we need to try to all work together and get along, respect each other, and just hear people out. Just hear them out.
New question.
This question has 3 major points to it, starting from the cultural level. If elected, will you support our tribal dances, Wichita visitations? Will you support our children in any activities they may be involved in? And during funerals, you as a council need to feed the mourners. I think that's on a cultural level.
Yes, and yes. Yes, it's what I wrote down was the tribal dances. Yes, they are all important, and they maintain our culture. We as a council, we need to support that. The visitation with our sister tribe is important. We need to continue to support that and be around that. Well, that's a no-brainer on the children. We need to try to give our children all that we can, the very best that we have, to utilize all the resources that there are to educate them and to see that they have what they need to be successful, to go forward in this world, As far as the funerals, we have our Pawnee ways. We do feed them. Our families feed the people after they have had that time. So that's good.
I've said many times before, culture is a big part of who we are in our tribe. We have all these different ceremonies. We have our language. We have our customs that we have, and that dictates who we are. That separates us from other tribes. And once we lose that, we're just natives. We've got to embrace that. We've got to encourage that with our children, because they are the future. And if we don't pass that on, then when they get older, there's going to be nothing left for them. Now, for this feast, I've said this many times before, what them old folks told me was that, when a person loses a loved one, and then you have to ask of them to feed the people, that's not how it used to be. These people had just gave up the biggest part of their life, one of their loved ones, and now we're asking them to feed us. It used to be that the people, the chiefs used to be the ones that used to feed that family. So I'm all for that. I think the council needs to do that, or there needs to be some money or funds allocated so that we can take care of these folks. That's the way I believe.
Yes, I do support the tribal. Okay. I would support and expand the teachings, enabling our children the knowledge of our Pawnee traditions. Our ways are what keeps us together as a tribe. It's the responsibility of our government of the Pawnee Nation Business Council to support our language, traditions, and our customs, including the feast. Speaking our language is an act of sovereignty, not just cultural. I would support all programs that have to do with culture, including Native American Church and those who run our tribal ceremonies. I would support language teacher training through the Pawnee Nation College and more grant funding for the language programs.
I have always been in support of all our tribal activities with adults, elders, and children. As a young man, we had a lot of dances around here in Pawnee. We had a lot of hand games. We had a lot of things going for the kids. It was a wonderful time to me. Because like I said, I grew up here. As far as funerals, I think we need to give more to the families. It takes a little bit more than $500 to adequately feed the mourners, to help the family. There's things we can do, you know, with the casino monies. We can take care of our people, put more into programs for the elders, funerals, these activities we're talking about. Thank you very much.
You know, I'm very proud to be Pawnee. You know, I was born right down here in this hospital, and circumstances being, I was raised by my grandma Charlotte, you know, and she was all about Pawnee. You know I carry that Oto blood too, but you know, she told me about Pawnee ways and different things that we do here. So I'm very, you know, I love the Pawnee ways. You know, the dances. You know, my daughter has served as a tribal princess. You know, what a great honor! What a great honor, not only for her but for our family. You see, so you know, I'm in support of all the dances. Wichita Visitation. You know, my first experience with that was with Wilson Moore and his wife Virginia. You know, what an introduction to that whole process. So, you know, part of history. And then the children, you know, that just goes unsaid that, you know, I have a little 6-year-old that I want to encourage in any way I can in our traditions and our ways and what we do here. So, and then the tribal council feeding the mourners of passing tribal members, yes, you know, why not? You know, that's great because those are the people that help us in this capacity. So, thank you.
On the culture side, if I'm not cooking, I'm dancing. And I really enjoy our ways, and I see a lot in it, especially those that are our ceremonies, you know. There's a blessing there. And just even as a participant to sit aside and watch on, that blessing's there, that good spirit's there, you know. So I like that about it. So I try to go and I try to attend. Then I try to bring my children around it too. They help me cook, or they're dancing, they're participating. Now it's my grandchildren. I believe in that because it's just like what was said, you know, that's what makes us Pawnee, you know. And then if I can get a blessing somewhere, I'm going to try to get it because I need it in my everyday life, not only for myself, but for my children. And then I think that I know that the tribe gives the family money and stuff like that. I think it needs to be raised up because, you know, everything, cost of living, everything goes up. And we need to go along with that. You know, $500 isn't enough.
I got to tell you that as you all were talking, I can't help but think when I was just a real little girl that my mom put me in feathers. And I remember dancing out here at Dolly Moore's place, at the campgrounds out there. And that's the heritage that we have. You can't take that away. It's here. It's here in our hearts. Yes, we all support our dances, but what does that mean? What about those kids that are out there that might want to dance, they might want to sing, but they can't afford the buckskin or they don't know how to make their clothes. Well, we have started we're going to start a program where we can bring in people that know how to make Pawnee clothes. And I thought about Georgia May, to tell you the truth, when we first thought about this. Bringing in people that can teach these kids how to make their own clothes, teach them how to make their own moccasins, and buy the materials for them. Because some of that, you know how expensive that stuff is. Buy it for them, put it there, teach them songs, tell them what those songs mean and what they're based on. They mean us, our heart and our soul, our Pawnee people, the people that, the legacy of our people that have gone on. Thank you.
Yes, I would like to say that, you know, I do support the dances and the visitation. I haven't ever been to the visitation. You know, when I was raised, we didn't go to a lot of dances. I didn't know the Pawnee ways very good, but over the last 4 years, I feel like I've learned a lot just by asking questions, because, you know, I've come to funeral feast and I've asked different ones, Dwayne, and well, different ones in the tribe. Why can't we have some kind of a meeting or something to where people can get up and tell us how you're supposed to conduct yourself at these feasts? You know, where are you supposed to sit? You're not, you know, all the things, because there's a lot of people from out of town that are tribal members that come to funerals, and they don't know that. And I know it's a very special thing. And I think that I would like to see that, and I think it's going to happen. I know that the council has fed mourners before. Time? Okay.
I've grown up here in Pawnee, and I'm very supportive of the tribal dances and have family, you know, that both sings and dances. And, you know, they're really rich in tradition. And I'm proud to say, you know, that they are my family, and we do carry that, and that we've been blessed, you know, as keepers of that. The Wichita visitation, you know, my family's participated in it for as long as I can remember, you know, running around in the dirt down there at Anadarko. And if you haven't participated, you know, I encourage you to participate. It's something that, you know, it's kind of disheartening when you go down there and you don't see very many camps, and it's usually the same ones over and over. So, or even coming down here and then, you know, people coming to eat, yeah, that's fine, but then not participating in the hang game. You're really missing out on a chance to gather around and visit with, you know, some really good relatives. And those relationships have lasted throughout, you know, the time.
Boy, you too, you ran around that dirt in the dark a while. I left Oklahoma in 1982, and all the roads in Caddo County were sand and dust. I came back and they were gravel and dust. It was a poor county. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to that time here where on our agenda we are supposed to give a 2-minute closing statement to our candidates here. And I know I have about 10 fragile pieces of questions here. However, we don't have enough time on our agenda, so it's up to the candidates here. We'll let them do the closing statement. Some of you may have some real big questions, pertinent questions, very important questions to you that you would want them to answer. If they would like to stay afterwards and go through these questions, or a few. I know it's getting late. Some of you have a Friday, whether you got kids or not. Friday's a big day for all of us. So candidates, I'll give this, we'll start back with John here to do the closing statements. You have 2 minutes to say what it is you want, why the people should vote for you. Again, give word about how you're going to serve your people here. So we'll start with John. Go down the line for your closing statements. 2 minutes.
Okay. Once again, thank you for the questions, and I will stick around for the latter part of the evening. So, you know, in putting my hat in the ring here, you know, I feel I'm the best candidate for the vice presidency. I have the experience and I have the, I would like to advocate for you for a lot of the issues that we have on our table right now, some of the concerns, and I know what they are, and I know how to take care of those issues, So, in serving on my last term, I learned a lot, and I know how the process works. And so, that's what I'd like to bring to the table. I think that's what's needed. And, people, if you know me, I take a stand for things. I don't sit there and I don't sit there on the fence and lean both ways. I let you know why I'm voting for something, and I let you know, that's the way I feel about things. So, and hopefully, it's in the best interest of the Pawnee Nation. And that's what I always try to make sure that I do, is that whatever I do, I want to be able to put my head on the pillow at nighttime and sleep good, and making the right decisions for our Pawnee people. I've always done that in the past, and I will continue to do that in the future if you're electing me as your vice president. I think that's very important that, I'm not about trying to take care of this family or that family. I'm about the Pawnee Nation, all Pawnee people, whether they live here or they live out of state, So, that's why I'm here. I'm really wanting to serve you once again, and I'm asking for your support at this time. Thank you very much.
I just want to say thank you for listening to me, and I really gave this a lot of thought, and then I was kind of shying away from it, and then I got kind of pushed into it, and kind of talked in it, and then I decided I would just take it, in a real good way, because I really feel like I have something to offer. And one of the main things that I had number one on my list was communication, or the lack of it, and I think that's really important. Another thing is the unemployment rate on our reserve. We need to find some way to put our people to work, and I've done a lot of studies on that issue, and it's all over Indian country, it's not just here. And I would like, as a lot of times before in the past, our Pawnee Nation has developed programs, we've gotten fundings, and we've excelled tremendously. And we've been the tribe where other tribes look to get their program started. But it seems like it hasn't been that way in a long time, and that's what I would like to bring back. That we could start building businesses, we could start putting our people to work, and through that they can take care of their children, they can take care of their elders, they can take care of themselves, and then through that, then they're going to feel better about being who they are and being a Pawnee. And so these things were like number one things on my list that I've been thinking about. And like I said, I wrote a paper about building business on the reservation. I have a lot of information that I want to put to work for our people, not just that, it's not about our elders. There's all kind of programs that can be developed around there. Different things like this. I'm just really full of ideals. I'm really excited about it. I'm really looking forward to better things for our people and our tribe as a whole. So I hope you would think about me election day and give me a chance to work for you. Thank you.
Thank you all for sitting out there and listening to us and being so patient. We just really appreciate it. It's hard to stand up here and beat your chest, because that's not the way we were raised. But that's what this is for, so you'll know a little bit about what we bring to the table and what each one of us want for our people. I feel like I'm in really good, excellent, beautiful company up here, and I say that with all sincerity. Everyone up here has the tribe at heart. And I know you guys do too, because you're out there sitting here, There's a lot of things that I would like to see done. I believe in sovereignty, and the definition of sovereignty for me is that a tribe has the desire and ability to make its own destiny. And that is what I think that we need to do. And I'm talking not only for the tribe, but also for our families. And we as individual tribal members need to support this tribe as well. And we need to build our families, get back to that closeness that we used to have as families. Someone said earlier, that's where it starts. I believe that as well. I believe that one thing I would like to do is I would like to bring small business loans and make those available to people that want to go into business for themselves. But not just to give them a loan, but to help them along the way so that they can succeed. And I'm looking at that, not just to hand out money to people so they can be successful in business. I'm looking at it farther down the road. I'm looking at that making a difference within that individual's family. So that little boy or that little girl that's down there, or the Pequot out there, their grandchild, can see them, this family growing, building, working toward making their family work. And that, so that when they grow up, they can say, my mom and dad used to have a business. That's what I want to do. So we can all be self-sufficient and love one another. Thank you.
I think that, you know, there has been a lot of good changes at the tribe. And I guess, you know, just like Adrian said, I think, you know, everybody can't sit around that table or come to the meeting all the time. I know that it does get out in the Child's paper, the business that we do, but I think that over the last 4 years, I've seen our finance department really, you know, get beefed up, you might say. There was some problems when I first came on that I wondered about, and once we got the right person in there, which, you know, Phil is working in there now. He has really improved and hired some good people. And, you know, your finance to me is your most important part of the tribe, because without a good finance department and it working properly, you know, your tribe's not going to do very well. And I think we can improve in all phases. There's a lot of things that I see too, that I would like to see the salaries of the employees raise up. I think we should set the ground, you know, for this whole city or community around here, that we should pay our employees a lot more money, make them know that they're appreciated, and you know, if it's not for them, we wouldn't be able to exist. And I would like to see businesses on the reserve. I would like to see something that would be able to help the people that live here, so they wouldn't have to drive out of town. They could just go to work right here, stay in the community. And there's always room for improvement no matter what you do. And I think that I would like to serve as the treasurer. I've been doing this for since our last treasurer resigned. And I enjoy doing that type of work, and I will try to do the best that I can.
I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight and listening to our views and, you know, our approaches as to how we're going to move forward in the progress of the Pawnee Nation. And I just hope to leave, you know, if elected, I hope to leave some kind of impact or a legacy and set some standards, you know, for other council members and other tribal members who, you know, want to achieve lasting and sustaining results for our tribal members. You know, like everybody's saying, look at different economic developments to, you know, provide some kind of profitability for our tribal base and everything. And look at our community resources right now. You know, we mentioned a lot about agriculture and livestock, and looking into those venues, because we have a community here that, you know, thrives on that. And partnering with different ones, you know, who have shops in town, maybe they can provide educational resources. You know, I just, you know, am thinking about one shop in particular. She's been open, but she doesn't run, you know, she has a t-shirt company and doesn't really, you know, just runs when, or opens up when she has different orders. But it's those kind of venues right there when you start partnership. You know, maybe that might be something that can grow or something that can be enhanced. And so, you know, I've always said that we live amongst two different communities, you know, Pawnee, Skeety, well, there's Blackburn, you know, there's just different resources, and those people have needs also. So if we all partner together, you know, like they're saying, having a consensus and growing as a people or as a community, you know, that helps all of us, and that brings money and different things into our community where we all are happy and we're all satisfied and no one has to go out. You know, everybody can work here, and develop those different job approaches and job venues, and I just believe that I have the confidence in myself to do that, and take this treasurer position and turn the tribe around to where it can become, transparent and accountable.
Well, I would like to thank the folks here, all of you that made the effort to come out here. I want to thank the college, these students, the moderator, all those who put this on. The biggest employer of workers here in this area is the tribe. I heard that from some leaders the other day. And then you have the Indian Health Service here. We have the BIA here. We as the tribe, we need to do all that we can to make sure that they stay here, and not only stay here, but they're helped to do all that they can because they really help us as Indian people health-wise and all of that, and so we need to keep those industries here. Our world today is this, all of us. And it's including our federal government and all that. There's just less money. There's less money. And so what we need to do as a tribe is to figure out how we can best do what we need to do with less money. And I think we can do that. I think we can do that. Well, we have to do that. We have to do that. And so we need to do that. One thing I would say is I would listen to you. I think you all know me, and I would listen to you. And I would listen to what you have to say and act on that. Act on that. If you have a question for me, if I don't know it, I'll tell you I don't know it, and then I'll try to go find out what it is and try to get an answer for you. Try to get some things resolved. I am running for vice president. I know I could do that position. I know I could do that duty, and I would promise you this: I would do it to the very, very best of my abilities. Thank you.
When I was about 6, 7 years old, I was home with my grandpa, Levi, here in the town, and it was in the evening time, and he gave me a Big Chief notebook, tablet, pens and pencils, and he was telling me, he said, I need you to be quiet now. He said, because we're going to have a meeting. So I said, okay. He said, we got these people, there's another tribe that's coming in to see us this evening, and I asked what for. He said, we're economic power. He goes, they want to see how we run things. I remember that. And I want us to be like that again. I'm a loyal and proud Pawnee. Everywhere I go, everywhere I've gone, I have always claimed Pawnee, and I try to represent to the best that I can. I want us to be a power again. When these tribes talk, they talk about the Cherokees and the Chickasaws and what they're doing. I want them to talk about us as well. I'm not saying that we have to do better than these other tribes. If we do, then that's great. But I want us to be proud. All of us. I want people to go around saying, I'm Pawnee. This is what we've done. This is what we're doing. That's the kind of stuff that I think about. That's the kind of stuff that I want. Like I said earlier, this world's revolving and it's not waiting on us. These other tribes are progressing and they don't have to worry about us. We need to go out there and we need to go after it. Myself, like I said earlier, I'm a loyal Pawnee and I will fight for you guys. I sat on the Chiefs Council for 8 years. Not only did I fight for our Kinkahaki people, but I fought for other bands as well. And I just can't tell you guys enough. I think most of you guys know me. I participate a lot in our culture, our ceremonies, and I try to be active in the community. So I'm running for seat 3, and I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you.
I'm an interested tribal member who has closely followed the governments of the Pawnee Nation. I am concerned about issues affecting the Pawnee Nation and its people. Our children are our legacy, and we must ensure the survival of our ways through them, or our identity as Pawnee will be lost forever. I have the educational background, tribal government experience, and the motivation to provide leadership for our government. As business affairs came up, I would do 4 things: gather the facts, listen to the voice of the people, put the interest of the Pawnee Nation first above my own family and personal interests, and only after taking all facts into consideration would I plan to make my final decision. As a Pawnee Nation Council member, I would stand for the following principles: to support and strengthen all Pawnee educational institutions, economic growth, economic self-sufficiency, and cultural sovereignty. Serving on the Pawnee Tribal Business Council is an honor and responsibility that I would take very seriously. If elected based on my experience, I will bring to the Pawnee Business Council a unique perspective in the areas of education, family, and culture. It is with deep respect that I request your support in this year's election for Pawnee Business Council seat number 4.
If I'm elected, I'm going to help ensure that the decisions made by the Pawnee Business Council will represent the needs of the entire tribe. I pledge to be objective and fair while being held accountable to our Pawnee people and to protect our tribal sovereignty. I will also make communication a priority because it provides trust and understanding between the tribe and its leadership. A lot of grumbling about that. Again, I'm not here to make promises, but I will be a very proactive council member. I would like to have our own tribal grocery store on the reserve. I'd like to see us produce our own electricity for the reserve, for all the buildings there, which will save us a lot of money, which we could pump into tribal funds and programs. I want to look into establishing a Hard Rock casino on our tribal land somewhere. I'd like for us to maximize our sovereignty to benefit all types of enterprises so that they may come here and reap those benefits by becoming a partner with the tribe. I'm asking your support for council seat number 3. I thank you for being here. Thank you for your time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the official portion of this forum. Very glad to see you all are more sedate, much more sedate than those conventions. Appreciate it. I think the candidates appreciate it as well. Let me turn this over to Gwen here, and she'll have some words for you.
I think they did their First off, thank you, Professor Burgess. Excellent job tonight. Appreciate it. Thank you all for excellent questions, and thank the candidates for responsive answers. I would like to recognize our Pawnee Nation College students who represent our own Pawnee Nation and other tribes. If you're in the back, if you can come toward the front, we'd appreciate it. They are students of which class is it?
Management, Sovereignty, American Indian Studies, Leadership Skills, Communications, with Mr. Mule, J. Mule's class. We have about a dozen almost here. Speech, I think, one.
Stand, if you will, when I say your name, Jonas Smith. Those guys are really on the spot. Great job. Leslie Rice, Mary Faye Blackout, Priscilla Begay. Thank you all very much. Laura May gave you all A's. But it wasn't A, it was A. A grade. Thank you for performing a good service tonight for our tribe. And Judy said a big doo-doo to all.
We hope you enjoy your pins. It's a gift from our recruiting officer, Ron James, says you all official recruiters now for your college. Everyone at the college, by the way, is working hard. I've seen that now that I've been there for a few weeks. To be responsive to your higher education needs, we need your input on how to keep improving, and we need your prayers. So as is our Pawnee way, Morgan, we're asking Shara Morgan to dismiss us before we go into the informal dialogue. You're welcome to stay afterward if you can. If you can't, either candidates or individuals, we understand that because this will be an informal session. Thank you.
Relatives, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out. And they got some refreshments up there, I think. And they said you're welcome to mingle around and visit. And you all can consider yourselves dismissed.